Hey vinyl community, Mark here again from Sound Matters, covering all things vinyl as always. Today's video is all about the new Pro-Ject VC-E2, the latest incarnation of Pro-Ject's compact vacuum record cleaner. Now I know a lot of you out there in the vinyl community already own the original machine. I'm one of those people. It's been a major part of my record cleaning arsenal now for the last 2 to 3 years. But I also know that a lot of you out there have mentioned one feature in particular from the original design that could have been improved on. So can the new model beat the old one? Can it address that issue? We'll take a closer look today and find out for ourselves. So this is the new model on the screen now, and obviously it's going to replace the original model, which is this one here. I've reviewed the original model, I own the original model, I love the machine, and it's going to be interesting to go through the different improvements that Pro-Ject have made to this design. If you'd like to check out my original review, you can do so in a link that I will put in the top corner around about here of this video. But let's get straight into those main upgrades, because I know a lot of you will be wondering what they've changed. So there are a few improvements according to Pro-Ject, and we'll just go through those now. So the first one is that there's a new and improved cabinet design, which I think mostly refers to these strengthened pillars here, the kind of corner pillars that they've added onto the design compared to the original, which doesn't have any of that. It just kind of joins seamlessly all the way round. Now, undoubtedly, this probably adds some strength to the new unit, but I think it is a little bit more aesthetically pleasing as well. It's a bit more rounded, a bit softer to look at, less of just a big metal tank. So the next design improvement is the new magnetic clamp, which they say is for quicker cleaning. Now, I think this is more significant because with the original design, it's a screw on and off clamp that you use to both seal the label but also secure the record to the platter. With this new design, it's magnetic based, no screwing the clamp down, which takes time, slows down the process, and is a little bit tedious. So long as it seals the record just as well, then this could be a significant improvement on the original model. But the biggest improvement of all is the addition of the new and improved vacuum steam outlet. This directly addresses the criticism from some people about the position of the vent underneath where the records are spinning. So if we look at the image of the actual unit, this is what they're referring to. So it has this black vent cover now that redirects the mist that can come back on that original design when you're cleaning a lot of records. If you get a lot of fluid building up in the tank, it can spray mist back up at your records because we don't have a platter under there to protect it. So that is probably the most significant upgrade of all with this particular unit. So there's just 2 more minor upgrades to talk about. They've made some minor improvements to the self-adhesive strips that go on the record cleaning arm. We'll see what that means in the flesh in a moment. And also there is apparently a new wash it to cleaning fluid. And I think what they mean by that is that instead of shipping it as a concentrate that you have to mix with distilled water, you get now a pre-mixed formula that you can put straight on your records. No messing about with using a concentrate and diluting it with a big tank of distilled water. All right, so here's the unit in the flesh. We can see how that magnetic on and off platter system works. That works really easily, actually. That comes off very cleanly and feels like it's got good strength to it as well. So hopefully it will protect the label just as well as the original, but make light work of swapping over records. That's the hope, that's the idea. We'll see how it works in practice. Now, these strips, these are slightly different to my original arm. If you take a look at the original one here, it's one, on this new one, it's one seamless strip that goes all the way round, whereas on the original it's 2 separate strips. So applying new strips is going to be hopefully a little bit easier with this, and it just looks a little bit smarter, a bit better design. So I do like that already. Looking at the vent, of course, that's one of the major upgrades. As I say, that's covering that circular vent, so we won't get any mist coming up towards the record, at least in theory. Again, we'll see how that works when I actually start using the product on a record. Now, one of the things I have noticed is that they've changed the orientation of the whole thing, because the power socket is the back, which is of course where you want it. So that means you're operating the arm here with your right hand, and maybe that's on purpose, but the controls are still on the side where the platter is. So instead of me operating them with my right hand, the on and off for the motor and the vacuum, they are now located on the side of the unit just here. So that's going going to change the feel of how the unit operates. When I'm using it in practice, I'll have a better idea as to whether I like that or whether I don't, but maybe I'm indifferent to it. We will see. So to test out the unit, I've got a copy of Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, which has been cleaned by hand when I first got it, but since then hasn't seen any sprucing up and is starting to show some signs of some dust and some dirt building up on the record surface. Needs a little bit of love, so we're going to use this as the test subject for today. So before we start cleaning the record, of course, got to secure it properly and protect that label. So we've got our new magnetic base clamp. I'm just going to pop that on there. That sucks in quite nicely and feels really nice and secure, so hopefully it does a good job of protecting that label from any fluid damage as well. Whenever I'm wet cleaning a record, I always like to take off all the loose dust first using a carbon fibre record brush. So first of all, I'm just going to lightly apply this with the platter spinning just to take off any loose debris and give the record cleaning machine the best chance to do a good job of deep cleaning the record. So, Pro-Ject do supply their own record cleaning fluid and a goat's hair brush. This is now pre-mixed, which is a nice touch. Before, it was a concentrate that you had to make up yourself. And the goat's hair brush works pretty well, and the record cleaning fluid, in my experience, I've used it on quite a few records, is a good option for getting you started out. However, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my favourite record cleaning fluid, which is the Groove Washer stuff. This is their standard G2 formula. There's also a stronger G3 formula for very, very dirty records, but that is a two-step process. This is a single-step cleaning process, as is the Pro-Ject Wash It fluid. Now, I suppose I would say this was my favourite record cleaning fluid because they are a sponsor of the show, good friend of mine for many years in terms of, the Sound Matters platform, but I really do honestly find I get superb results with Groove Washer. I think they make a really great product, and I like using it with the Pro-Ject vacuum record cleaners. Using the new model works exactly the same as the old model. So with the clamp firmly applied to protect the label, apply a liberal amount of record cleaning fluid. You can rotate the platter either clockwise or anti-clockwise to help you achieve this. Next, take your record cleaning brush. Now you can use the Pro-Ject one supplied, or you could use one like this. This is the Groove Washer Black Magic Pad, which has really nice fine fibers on it, really velvety fibers that just allow you to get a little bit more of a mechanical cleaning process, and just does a really good job, in my opinion, of spreading the fluid around the record. So you want to make sure you get a nice even covering of your record cleaning fluid over the record surface. You again can use the rocker switch on the side to flip between spinning clockwise and anti-clockwise to make sure that you fully get that record cleaning fluid into each crevice of the groove. Once you're happy with the record cleaning fluid distribution, you can allow it to sit on the record for a minute or even longer. Allowing the record cleaning fluid to sit will give the emulsifiers and surfactants extra time to work on all that grime and dust. Once you've done that, you can then simply move the arm over, begin to rotate the record clockwise to begin with, and then engage the vacuum. Now, usually 1 to 2 spins both clockwise and anti-clockwise is enough to get the record entirely dry, but it does depend on how much record cleaning fluid you've applied. Once complete, simply remove the arm to its resting position, and then you can unsecure the record and repeat the process for side B. And that's all there is to it. Now we have a nice clean record. Links to all the products mentioned in this video are in the description below. Stevie Wonder record was significantly improved in terms of the pops and clicks that had built up on the record surface over time, but it wasn't the most extreme example because this record had previously been cleaned. I needed something a little bit more extreme. And one of the major issues when reviewing these kinds of machines is the ability to do before and after tests of records. Dealing with copyright is not a fun process, which makes it very difficult to upload those before and after samples that so many people ask for. But what I can do is do a recording of the running groove. So I needed something a little bit more extreme just to demonstrate the whole process. So I managed to locate this bargain basement record. It only cost me £1 in a record store, and I thought, well, let's just take this and we'll see if I can remove all of the dust without even touching it. So I just took it straight from the sleeve from the record store. It's absolutely caked in dust, as you can see, and I thought, let's run it through the machine, take a before and after of the running groove, and that'll give us an example of what the machine is capable of. So no pre-clean with the carbon fibre record brush was applied here, it just went straight to the VCE machine. Here's how it sounded before. And here's how it looked and sounded afterwards. Avoiding the minefield that is copyright protection, that's the best demonstration I can provide, and you know, running grooves tend to be pretty noisy spaces anyway, as all of you will know. But what this does show is you can take something like a really caked record like this and in theory completely skip the carbon fibre record brush stage and put it straight onto the VCE record cleaning machine and get great results. As I say, I do own the original VCE machine. I purchased that with my own money and it's been a real workhorse of a record cleaner for me over the last few years. You can get some really outstanding results, but what it isn't is a miracle worker. Of course, if a record is damaged, has groove wear, has kind of caked in dirt that's caused groove damage or anything like that, it's not going to remove those imperfections, but you will get very, very good results. You can improve the results, I find, by allowing the record cleaning fluid to soak for longer, or sometimes just increasing the strength of the record cleaner that you have. That's where something like Grooveross's G3 fluid comes in, but I will say that adds an extra step because they do recommend that you apply a second rinse stage when using the stronger formula. So you have to do a little bit of experimentation, but you will get very good results cleaning records with this machine. So thank you ever so much for watching. That concludes today's review. I do think the addition of that new vent design is a big improvement on the original, but my big question is, can I get a modification kit for my original Pro-Ject VC-E? That remains to be seen. I think it's probably a little bit unlikely as it may involve drilling holes into the original machine, but maybe I can come up with a way of creating my own version of that. I know a lot of you have done your own kind of slightly almost temporary fixes to this issue, so it's been interesting to see some of those over the years. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Will you be trading in your original Pro-Ject VC-E for the new machine? Are you fresh on the market? Are you considering buying the new VC-E2? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you have any questions, of course, feel free to drop those in the comments section as well. But if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. We'd love to have you on board, but until then, keep spinning.